Welcome to this video. Now in this video we'll be talking about Python data types and the type function. Quickly let's open our idle and click on file, new file, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this new file. So press command plus X or control S on your Windows machine, and I'm going to save this as type function, and I'll save this on my desktop Python series, and I'll click save to save that. Let me show my line numbers. Okay, in Python we have data types like integer, we have float, and we have string. An integer is the basic whole numbers we see in our math class, like 2, 4, 700. These are integers we can have in Python. Floats are decimal numbers like 9.1, 7.9, or 100.98. These are float numbers. Strings are a series of characters. They can be words, phrase, or sentences. So if you see a name like Rudolph, it's a string. You can also have a name like Stella being a string. You can have Alex also being a string in Python. Let's have a variable called x, and I'll set x equals 7. Can have another variable called y, and I'll set this equals another 7, but this time around in double quotes. Can also have another variable z, and I'll set this to a float number like 9.345. so how we can do is print x, save this. We can also again print z plus 2. I'll save that, run model, and we have x being printed on the screen to be 7, and we also have z plus 2, which is 11.345, because we have 9.345 over here plus 2 is 11.345. now how we can do again is also to update the value of z or y or even x. So we can have z equals z plus 10, and we are going to print z. So print z. Now what this is going to do is it's going to take the current value of z, and it's going to add 10 to that, and it will now assign it to variable z, so it's kind of updated. Okay, so let's run this, save that, run model. Yes, and we have 19.345 being printed on the screen. Another way to do this is we can have z plus equals 2. Okay, so this is just the same way as saying z equals z plus 2. So let's go ahead, print z, save, run. Yes, and we have 21.345 being printed because we have z to be 19. Remember, we've updated that over here already, so z is now 19.345, and when we add 2 to 19.345 we get 21.345. all right, let's do away with this and build a quick program to learn something. So I'm going to have a variable called first name, and I'm going to set first name equals Rudolph. Then I'll have a variable age equals 99, and height equals 6.0. okay, so now what we can do is we can check the data types of these variables using the type function. So if you want to check the data type for the first name, what we can do is we introduce our type function and we bring our bracket. Then we are going to put in the variable name, so we will put in first name. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to print this to know the kind of data type we have. So we'll go ahead and print that, save, and run that. So this is going to tell us the data type for the variable. So we have str over here, which means the data type for first name is string. Okay, let's try that again for age. So I'll say type, and I'll type in age. Okay, but we have to print that to see. So we will print, save, run module, and we have the data type being shown over here as an integer. Okay, now we can change the data type of a variable from its current state to another. For example, if we have a variable x equals 7 over here, note that this variable x equals 7 is a string. Okay, the 7 here is a string because of the double quote. Now we can change this string to an integer, or let's say if we have a variable x equals 7, we can change this integer to a string. Okay, so let's try and do that. Let me do away with this, and now we are going to print something. So I'm going to print first name plus, I'm going to say is, okay, just like we did in our last video, age plus years old, and he is height feet tall. Okay, so what we are trying to say here is the first name, which is Rudolph, is 99 years old and he is 6.0 feet tall. But remember, this first name over here is a string, and we have this age over here to be an integer. 99 is an integer. Okay, then we have height here to be a float. But remember, we can't concate a string with an integer or a float. So if you try running this, we are going to get an error message. So let's run and see. And yes, we have the error message, can only concate string, not integer to string. So what we have to do is we have to convert this to a string, then we convert this float also to a string. Now let's save this, run module, and yes, Rudolph is 99 years old and he is 6.0 feet tall. Take note, if we cast a data type in a print function like this, it is not a permanent one. Okay, so now this age over here, when I try to find the data type, it will still give me an integer, although we've casted it to a string over here. So let's try that. So I'll say print the type function, and I'll call age, save, run, and we have the data type still being an integer. Okay, now this is because what we did here, the casting we did here, was not permanent, it was temporary. Okay, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoy it. See you in my next video. Have a wonderful day.